I'm beginning to think, the older and older I get, that the reason why most people haven't achieved any success in their life is because they can't. It's literally impossible for them, especially on the path that they are on. I want to speak tonight about what made me believe this and what I think the solution could be, and why this is such an important thing to discuss. So this is a topic that kind of came to my mind earlier today. I was thinking about success, and I know some people say that success means this or success means that. I think it's very subjective. Irrespective of that, most people don't achieve any of their dreams. Some people do enjoy having a good job with a six-figure salary. Other people just want to live, a less eventful life, a more peaceful life with a slower pace. But most people do not achieve their goals, irrespective of what it is. They're big goals, they're small goals. I know a lot of people do, but most people don't. If we're honest, that's the truth. And then I got to think about where this comes from. I started to think about where this may originate from, and I think it comes back to a deeper point on aspiration. I watched something the other day where this guy said that he wanted to be a millionaire, and his entire sort of circle, including his immediate people, his friends, his family, literally laughed him out. They laughed him out. And it is a huge goal, it's a big goal to obtain, but at the same time, it's not unreasonable. In today's money, $1 million is not all too much. So it's not unfeasible to achieve that in a lifetime, but at the same time, due to the circumstantial, perhaps upbringing or background or experiences of this kid and their family, it is obviously seen as something that's just not doable. And I think this is where a lot of the issues with people achieving their dreams comes from. Because most people think it is literally impossible. A dream is a dream, it can never be anything more. And then we think about the dreams that people set for themselves. Obviously, like I say, success means different things for different people. But if I ask somebody what their dream car would be, are they going to say something mid-tier? A lot of people do, and I've seen this before. Then you ask, well, why don't you want this car or that car? That might be better. And then they say, well, that's unreasonable for someone like me. It can't happen for someone like me. And you hear this an alarming amount. This money goal can't happen for someone like me. I can't get into this field or this. And obviously we can talk about, different characteristics as to why people might believe that. At the same time, though, this is extremely powerful to understanding the backstory of most people. Because if you start off with this viewpoint, you are automatically limited. This should go without saying. And I see it in my comment section all the time. I see it in people in real life. They tell me I can't do something. They tell other people they can't do something. And subsequently they end up telling themselves that they can't do something. I really do believe, and I've said this before, right? I know some people think that I'm misguided. Maybe I am. At the same time, I really do believe that I can achieve anything I set my mind to. Within reason, of course. If I want to have this car or that car, I don't see why it's unreasonable. If I want to have this financial goal or start a business or anything like that, I think I can do it. And as silly as it might sound, this is actually the most important basis for success. Because if you don't think you can do it, you will never do it. If I walked into a job interview of a job that I really wanted and thought, they're not going to hire someone like me, or the way that I act is going to be different, the way that I come across is going to be different, the results that I get subsequently are going to be substantially different. And I know it's a very, very small thing, but funnily enough, the mind is the most powerful thing. If you can break through the psychological barriers in regards to all of these things, you open up an entirely new world. When I operate knowing, or at least believing wholeheartedly, that I can do anything, the things that I've done as a consequence, perhaps luck played a factor. At the same time, I wouldn't have been able to capitalize upon that luck if I hadn't have believed in the first place, because you kind of put the energy out there. For instance, one time I really did believe that I could run a long distance. I would say a marathon. And you know how far I ended up running in that day? No prior running experience. Obviously, I am young, so maybe it's not as impressive. But untrained, I hadn't run for years before that. I was able to run basically non-stop, 24 miles roughly. And that's not a lie or an exaggeration. Obviously, it wasn't a fast sprint for the whole distance. At some points, I was basically walking, but you keep that little jog pace going, don't you? And that's just one example. Look at the businesses that I've built. I'll give you one thing that's blatantly apparent for you guys to see. You can literally look at the results for this in front of your eyes right now. I have known since school, and obviously going forwards after that, however many people who said that they want to make a YouTube channel, they want to start making videos and make some money on the internet. Everybody gave up. Everybody gave up. I didn't give up. This is my third YouTube channel. My second YouTube channel and my first YouTube channel were also very, very profitable. Actually, so far, time can change things, but so far they've been more profitable than this channel. By a lot. Now you come to a point where it's not uncommon at all, and I'm being honest, for my videos in a day to get 100, 200, 300, 500, 700 views. But you know what's funny? A lot of people look at this channel and they don't understand that this is just an analogy for life. And I'll explain what I mean. You see, when you check in on this YouTube channel, whether it's every day, every week, every month, you've gone up by 200 subscribers or 1,000 subscribers. It's only been a month. But you don't understand what goes into that. And I'm not saying it's hard necessarily, but I'm saying one thing. I've got over 400, almost 500 videos on this channel. And this is just one example of success, right? Or one example of how success can be manifested. I have over 400 videos, nearing 500 videos on this channel. Most of them have less than 100 views. Take that in for a minute. Less than 100 views. You know what that means? It means I was getting paid nothing. When I was getting paid something, it was next to nothing. I was getting no subscribers coming over, because obviously I wasn't getting any views, never mind subscribers. I might get like 2 subscribers an episode, which is good. But, no comments, good or bad. I got nothing on this channel for months. And obviously I don't want anybody to feel bad for me. Why would I? It's just working out well. But at the same time, how many people would sit there watching something that is blatantly not working, let's be honest, isn't working, but keep going? I needed to keep trying. Because I had a belief that I could make it. I'm not even past the 10,000 subscriber milestone. The biggest milestone that I'll have ever hit on YouTube is getting past the 100k milestone. When I've done that, I can say that I've done something big here on YouTube. At the same time, the hardest part of getting traction on YouTube or anything is the initial steps. And this ties into the topic very well, because hear me out on this, right? The initial steps. It took months to even get to 1,000 subscribers. Come to 2,000, 3,000 like we are now, and things are picking up a little bit faster. But would you guys have been comfortable seeing no results? And why was I comfortable seeing no results? Because I genuinely believed I practiced what I'm preaching now. I really thought I was gonna or could make something. I never limited myself in belief. Because why would I? It seems like one of the least sensible things that anybody can do. Anyway, this is a bit of a longer video, but I'm going to tie it in now to today's topic. Perhaps that was a bit of a story time in the middle. Why are most people unable to obtain success? Well, when we look at their circumstances, they grow up in an environment where success in their measures is frowned upon. And I'll explain why. The first thing that we all need to acknowledge is that success is something different to everybody. It's funny because I get comments on my videos telling me that I should just get a 9 to 5 and grind that out and give up on the online business. The fact of the matter is, whilst that might objectively be the best thing for me to do, different things will make different people happy. I know people who work good jobs. They get paid a lot of money, and they hate their jobs. They hate their jobs. It's the misery of their lives. I know people who make next to nothing. They've not got any spare cash, but they're happy with who they are. When you tell somebody, friend, family member, teacher, colleague, yeah, I'm gonna make a YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm going to quit this job and I'm going to travel the world. Yeah, I'm going to start making an online business, see how that works. I'm going to run a marathon. Putting yourself out there like that is the first step to certainly experiencing some pushback and negativity. People are not going to necessarily understand why you're doing what you're doing. And this is why self-belief is so important. Most people don't believe in themselves because the people around them don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in themselves and they won't believe in you therefore. And with this being the backdrop for most people's lives, is it any wonder why people feel like they can't ever make more than X or Y goal? They're told that they can't by themselves, by the people around them. Because in these circles, it is oftentimes incomprehensible, and the amount of self-belief that you need to have. Like I say, I've done it before on a number of fronts, and I don't say this to brag. This channel is intended to be me just doing story times, basically, and sharing my thoughts and opinions. So that's what I do. The best example that I can actually give is YouTube, because it's one of the fronts where you are easily able to be judged. Especially when I was in school doing a YouTube channel, right? Can you guys imagine? You get bullied, you get laughed at, you're not getting any views. And then you do? Oh, yeah, we knew you could do it. Now, obviously, you shouldn't be doing things for other people. But at the same time, it's other people which are often some of the biggest reasons why we believe what we believe. Again, a lot of us from poor backgrounds come from a culture where trying different things is just absurd. The way you get rich is in a 9-to-5. Rich people often don't think like that. And of course, money's just one example, but it's a clear-cut one. And that's why I use that the most, because it's a quantifiable example of what we're speaking on. I find it really entertaining that most people make these big beliefs that they can't achieve anything. And here's the funny thing that I need to also outline. The amount of things, times, and attempts that I've failed on everything. Businesses, friendships, relationships, jobs, exams, goals. Oftentimes, these are the times where you get this big pushback again, which usually is the, well, I told you so. I told you so. And this is why self-belief comes in even more important at this stage. Because now, it's like people are opposing what you want to do, or what you believe, and they're ostensibly correct. And my point here is, this is the wider societal programming, perhaps. This is the reason why people think/know they can't do any better. Because they're always going to get pushback. Because they're afraid to take a risk. Because they don't believe in themselves. Because they fail to acknowledge, and this is a huge point that I can't emphasize enough. They fail to acknowledge that there is not a one-size-fits-all approach to happiness. And I find it funny when people act like there is. Get a 9-to-5, you'll be rich. What if that's not what you want? What if that's actually not what you want? What if the goal's not for somebody to have a big car and house? Of course it might be, but it might not. I could go on with a number of different things that people should and shouldn't work towards, irrespective of what they want. But here's the funny thing. We are socially programmed so that we have limitations on us. And I don't care if you're from a middle class background, upper class, working class, or maybe even underclass, if you want to use that term, i.e., maybe your family didn't work growing up, and all different things, right? I don't care if you're super rich, super poor, in the middle. We all put limitations, right? Think about it. Think about who you are, where you're from, what you look like, what age you are, what gender you are, and think about all the limitations that you have been told, right? Women can't do this, men can't do this. I don't know, black people can't do this, young people can't do this. Or poor people won't be able to get rich, or this or that. We could go on for ages. But I think you guys will, by now, understand the point that I'm trying to make here. The point I'm trying to make here is society at all levels programs us into a path. And I've said this before, I'll continue to say it because it's ostensibly correct. Or at least true. A lot of you guys kind of know where I'm coming from here, right? You know that I'm trying to just outline the fact that we all have limitations on us. And for a lot of us, think about it like a weighing scales, right? You know them weighing scales that have two sides on them. Limitations, as in societal limitations, be that expectations, cultures, traditions, broader aims, issues, they're all, for most people, right down here, right? They're really weighing you down. And your self-belief and conviction is right at the top. Because it's not strong enough to weigh it out, so that you're in the middle. It's not strong enough to weigh it down, so that this looks light. And this is what you need to start thinking about trying to do. And people have different sorts of brains. So I don't know if my visual example is going to come across well here. But I think what I'm trying to say is this. Right now, the weight of societal expectations, goals, aims, aspirations are weighing down right here. Because your self-belief is nothing. So, proportionally, it's much, much lower. This comes down lower. You need to start neutralizing this. When you neutralized it, imagine it's neutral now. 50-50, evenly weight distributed. Now, we have an open mind. When it's right up here and we're being weighed down by expectations, we can't achieve anything. Hey, do you want to get this new job? No, can't get a job in this field. People, they won't hire someone like me, so I won't even put in for the application. Hey, you want to come out for a drink? No, why would I want to come out for a drink? And, you know, I got money to save. I got things to do. You want to go on holiday? No, I can't go on holiday. Why would I go on holiday? Why don't you get a new car? Well, people like me can't get a car like that. All particular limitations, right? Just a few blatant examples. And ironically, on all of those things, there is, I would say, an opportunity cost that you're missing out on. If you neutralize your mindset, you know what starts to happen when you're neutral? When you look at things with an open mind. Maybe you've not at this point even built a business. Maybe you've not gone to the gym or done whatever you wanted to do as your goal. But you know when you've started to open your mind and your mind is now neutral, do you want to know what happens? This one, remember, this is our self-belief, weighs down. And now, societal expectations mean basically nothing, and increasingly less. The goals mean less, and our belief means more. And this is what I'm trying to open a lot of people's minds to. I'm not saying that I'm right with this concept, and I think a lot of people think that I think I'm right. I'm not saying that. I consider myself to be a fairly open-minded person myself. So if you disagree with me, that's completely fine. That's completely fine. I'm just a guy with an opinion. With that being said, what I'm trying to say is, when we have our mind open, the doors that open to us start to become unbelievable. When we stop caring about what other people think and we prioritize what we think, saying, hey, yeah, I don't want a 9-to-5 job. I actually quite enjoy working a couple of days. I've got enough money to pay my rent. I don't have to rely on anybody else, any government funds or benefits or family. I've still got enough money to live. But I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I want to work this shift pattern, this many days. I like my job. That's a societal expectation blown, because you're now happier. Yeah, it would be a smart move. It would be an accepted move to buy that new Benz, but I don't need it. I don't want it either. And again, when your self-belief starts to equal out, it quickly weighs down more. Because think about this as a concept. You are now exposed to opportunities that you wouldn't have been before. I'll give you one great example. Since I started making this YouTube channel, I have been shown a few things. I've heard the opinions of literally hundreds of people, if not thousands of people, maybe even tens of thousands of people. I don't know how many comments have been left on this channel. I'd say at least a couple thousand. So I'm going to say I've heard the opinions of hundreds, if not thousands of people. I've heard all of these opinions. I've heard a lot of positive gestures to me, which I really do appreciate, guys. Thank you for all the love. I've heard a lot of positivity towards me. I've made money from numerous different streams. I've been inspired. I've been told new ideas. Some of the people who I've met through YouTube and Patreon have opened my mind up to new things. There's certain markets that I have started selling in because of people I have met because of YouTube. Because of YouTube, my income is stronger. Not just because of the YouTube videos, but because of a number of reasons. And I don't want to make this all about money, but it is a quantifiable example of what I'm trying to say. Bringing this back to my point, there's something more broad to focus on. And that is this fact. This is common. If you are not in the game, you cannot win. Obvious when we say it like that, but no one thinks about this in regards to life. If you are not in the game, you can't win. And a lot of you guys are in somebody else's game. Like I say, step one is to equalize the two. This doesn't matter. Societal expectations, cool. Be responsible, be sensible, obviously. Don't make yourself a burden to anybody else. But past that, who cares? Who cares? You got one life. Now bringing this back to the other side. This is about following our heart's desires. Our true purpose. And going back on this point, once we can acknowledge what that is, you know what then happens? We can follow it. And then we get more opportunities. If we go on that holiday, we might have a memory that we wouldn't have. Well, we will have a memory that we otherwise hadn't. Might meet somebody new. Might find a new spot that we want to live in for the rest of our lives. Might find a business idea, inspiration that changes your life. These are all just rough examples with no context or real meaning, but they are examples. And a lot of people are, I think, never going to become successful because not only do they not want to, they can't. As much as we've broken this down into a 3-step process of, you free your mind, then you equalize stuff, then you get successful, whatever that looks like to you, most people still can't break out of it because of the programming. It's so strong that they can't imagine anything else. You know how many people I've known in the real world rather than on YouTube who have informed wisely, friends of mine, good friends of mine, about the eBay selling. I said, hey, this is an opportunity to make an easy couple of, even if it's £100. Bear in mind, right, I'm 21. Most people my age are broke. So £100, it's not bad. It's not bad, is it? Like, really, it's not bad at all. Never mind a couple thousand. I say this is a way to make some money. But you know what it is? For a lot of people, this is true. Well, yeah, but we need to get some fulfillment to make money. If I'm not spending time to make money, I'm not making real money. It's a lie, it's a scam. I'm scamming somebody. I'm not running a proper business. Running a business is for rich people. It's for older people. This is just a prime example, right? Prime example of what I'm trying to say. I don't want to call it the Matrix, but there's a good term for it. The Matrix programming is honestly that strong in most people's heads that even when presented with the truth, the opportunity, the realization. They'll spend a couple of days being in love with the idea. And I feel like past that, it just disappears. It just disappears. They don't care. They won't follow it. It's too much of a challenge. Obviously, it is a challenge. Everything in life is hard. Pick your hard. Pick your struggle. At the same time, it's interesting to think on, eh? Or at least I think it is. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you again.